Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the second episode of the Staged Podcast. I'm Fox, and we're here with Majo and Craig, whom I almost called Caleb again. First of all, I just want to say that the fact that we actually got such a huge audience on the first episode was unexpected and wonderful. So I just want to say thanks, guys, for that. And yeah, I don't know if you two wanted to say anything about that, but I'm fucking sure.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think we'd get that much from the first episode alone.
Yeah. To be completely honest, my expectation was 60 views, 70 views at most.
But the fact that it went into the thousands and we actually got that in subs instead of views is just madness. We got 70 subs. It's not big at the moment, but in the future, who knows what we'll shoot off. So, without further ado, let's just get right on into bloody Baited, which was the big topic last time, and we're going to make it a big topic to start with this time, because 2 episodes launched since our last podcast over a week ago, and the reason it was over a week ago instead of a week ago, like we thought, was because of, I guess, issues with timing and stuff. Yeah, because you are 8 hours away from me. You two are both on the same time zone. I'm 8 hours in front. Yeah. So for you now, it's 1:20 p.m. It's 9 o'clock p.m. 1:21 p.m. It's 9:21 p.m. We can still do it at the same time next week, hopefully. I don't know if you guys have got anything scheduled, but it should be okay. I'm wanting to do it this time, so that's great. 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, when we recorded this, 2 episodes have come out since. I watched the first one, about 20 minutes of it before stopping, because as I predicted, it got pretty boring. The first episode talked a lot about, 20 minutes of it at the beginning was talking about, the old Baited cast, Colossal, Tommy C, etc. And, basically, Andy and, what was anything for the user's name again? What's his first name? It's Chad, that's it. On the top.
You haven't seen the second episode yet, right?
It was on the tip of my tongue. They have actually released another episode since then. They released 2. I only watched the first one. I've seen a clip of the second one, which Colossal tweeted out. It was about how Keem would go out on have a meal with fucking Colossal, because their relationship is confusing, but they see themselves as friends. The first episode, though, was important because it's the only one I watched.
Well, actually, in the second episode, Keem said he thinks of Clown as a friend, but Clown doesn't think of him as a friend.
Yeah, he said that, but then Colossal said, I think of you as a friend, I'd have a meal with you. But the first episode, though, was one where they really ripped into it. Playfully, definitely was, they ripped into them, but I believe one of my favourite quotes from Chad was, I wish you died in the army, straight to Tommy, which was...
He said it 3 times, though, and it got really old. It wasn't funny anymore.
The first time, though, was hilarious.
The first time, I laughed so hard.
Yeah, in the second episode, I know you haven't seen it yet, but he started apologizing for it a lot, and on Tommy's, I watched Tommy's podcast. I think it came out today, and he said that he forgives him for it, but then he was saying he goes down 2 different lines of either being super apologetic, which gets rid of his tough guy credit, or he's just looks like he didn't say a pussy, but he just said really apologetic, or a tough guy, but he already apologized. But on Twitter, he said, he quoted his tweet, and I don't know if he deleted it or not. He might not have, but I couldn't find it again, and he said that it was horrible or something. Here, I'm going to find the tweet.
Okay.
Alright,
But yeah, there was, the episode did go pretty much as I expected. They were sort of jerking each other off, being a circle jerk. There was barely any conflict in the episode, unless you guys want to.
There's not much chemistry.
There was no chemistry. I mean, they're 3 completely different people talking about topics that they somewhat had an involvement in throughout the whole thing. Especially the MTV White 2017 racist thing, which when did that come out? That came out in 2016, right? So. Yeah, so that was probably 2016 coming out with its last bit of shit before wiping its ass, which is what we're pretty much doing right now. And the metaphorical massive toilet bowl that is life. And there was no chemistry. It was a very dull episode. For the last 20 minutes, I couldn't actually get through it. I had to watch the whole thing. Just so there was a bit of honesty there, that I'd actually watched the whole thing. But the second one I have not seen yet, particularly because I've been busy with prepping the visuals for the podcast and whatnot. But yeah, one of the cool things, though, that happened between Tommy and Keem was that Majo got a tweet retweeted by Keemstar, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so I said that Tommy, or somebody replied to Keem's tweet just shitting on him like most people do, and I said, to be fair, it's Tommy who starts the situations usually, because they're talking about how Keem was quote-unquote manipulating the situation with Tommy, when usually all he does is reply. And I just said that, to be fair, he doesn't, and he just replies. And also I said, by the way, My Little Pony is cancer, because he had a My Little Pony profile picture. And after this, a ton of people replied. It has like 250 likes, I think, and I was getting hundreds of notifications that night. I kept messing with this one guy about Five Nights at Freddy's, because it turns out that My Little Pony fan liked Five Nights at Freddy's too, or I thought he did. But then he said he didn't anymore or something. Yeah, he said he had a poster and he ripped it up. But that got a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, or a group of them actually, really, really mad. And I kept baiting the guy, just and he just kept saying, they're good games, and I said, in your opinion, but objectively they're bad games, and I said that about 7 times, and then he got really mad at me, and so I took a screenshot of his tweets and I put it next to a picture of his face. It's pretty funny.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm looking through the replies right now. There are so many.
There's such an awful series of games, though. Like, what? Did they release like
They are terrible. They are some of the worst games made this past decade. Well, maybe. Yeah, actually, I stand by that. Past decade. I don't think... It really sucks that stuff like that gets popular when really good games don't get popular.
Yeah, it's essentially, you just left a really abstract narrative in there. The game functionality was bad, but the whole
they're fucking off.
Yeah, the whole narrative of it was just bad. And then they left it, and then fucking people started analysing it, and they got really interested in it, and that's when the thing started gaining notoriety, and then freaking...
Lore.
The lore of the Bite of 87 or whatever it is. I don't even know if that's the right number.
But the Bite of Pyrocynical. Speaking of lore, I saw a video in my recommended. It was all the Filthy Frank lore. I thought that was the funniest and stupidest thing.
Jesus, these people just have no time, do they? Oh my god. Really? Okay, so speaking about the lore, even though I'm going to go and dip into a completely different lore, instead of saying lore, we're actually going to talk about criminal law, and we're going to talk about Shatbase, because fucking Majo was desperate to talk about this guy on Twitter. I saw, like, what did it? Did you pop in the?
It wasn't on my new Twitter account though. No, that was on my old Twitter account. I got in a flame with him, and he kept posting. He started posting like, you can probably find it. He posted like a picture of a rat, and he said "feed me" or something. But he kept replying to my tweets, and like I knew he was looking at them. I was just calling him a pedophile because, and he if you don't know who Shadbase is, he's a freak who draws cartoonish child pornography. Yes. He drew Keemstar's daughter, and he drew who else?
Lieutenant Corbus,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just so fucked.
No, if you want to talk about the actual positions in which he drew them, he didn't draw Keemstar's daughter.
Yeah, and he was like, it's just a microphone.
He drew Lieutenant Corbus in very sexual positions with a microphone there instead of genitalia, which is what you typically expect. And
it wasn't just sensual. She was fucking the microphone.
She wasn't actually. She was in her underwear, right? She wasn't naked. So there was no actual intercourse going on, but it was very suggestive, rubbing up against the... I don't want to talk about it, but it's
fucking disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting. You said he got arrested or something, right?
Yeah, he got arrested in his country, or taken in, not like arrested, thrown in jail, but...
When was this?
He was taken... I don't know when it was, but I know he was taken in for drawing child pornography.
And what, let out because it wasn't technically child porn or something in quotes?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. But it's just fucking
I don't know
bullshit.
If that's true. I don't know if that's true, but I do not find that hard to believe.
He talked about it in a video.
Did he? Okay, you'll have to find that video, because I'd love to link down in the description or take a look myself, because that, that would, that's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah.
That's genuinely bad. I saw someone else about...
I think the video is called I Like Drawing Lowly or something. Jeez. Fucking freak.
That is just screw. I'm blocked on Twitter. He's absolutely disgusting. And speaking of Twitter beef, that you get into so much Twitter beef, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love...
You do.
Trolling people on Twitter is so fucking fun. It's so entertaining. The replies that people give... I love messing with people on Twitter.
I need to watch your Twitter more often.
Don't be the troll.
I need to watch your Twitter more often because I love Twitter beef as well. I actually got I remember Albert's stuff. I'm actually talking to maybe getting him on a future episode. But this guy, I got into some Twitter beef with a guy called Joe Tutorials or something. He had like 50k subs. And at the time, I don't know what he's on now because he's a twat. But he started doing like, I think it was GTA videos, and I got into some Twitter beef with him, and he was showing off his god complex. I think it was Keemstar was talking about a network that was scamming him or something, and I said, "Oh, cheers, dude!" Like, because it's good that you're sharing this information with people, because like it's genuinely a nice thing, saying, "All right, this is a cunty network or something like that." And then this Joe Tutorials guy is like, "Oh no, it's a really good network." I think it was Omni Media or something like KSI and all that partnered with them. And I was like, oh, okay, it's good that you're doing that. And then this Joe Tutorials guy who just got partnered with them starts defending them like with his ass in full view, mooning me. And he was starting talking shit to me, and he's like, "Oh no, they wouldn't partner nobodies like you." Ooh. And I was like, "Who are you?" And that beef got into this Albert Stuff guy's video, which got tons of views. And then I started getting comments on my videos from this guy called Albert, who I didn't know until later on in the day. I had to keep looking him up and stuff. It was actually really. I need to keep an eye on your Twitter more often because of all the Twitter beef you get into. So,
well, usually I end up, well, not usually, I guess, but sometimes I end up deleting them after a while because they get so many replies. And it gets annoying to get notifications from them for days.
Yeah, you need an account just for Twitter beef, I think. That would be great. Just set it up.
Yeah, then I won't get suspended. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll use my second account for it.
Yeah, just get actually mad into it. So talk about your account that got banned before. How many...
I've been suspended twice this month, I think.
Twice this month? Oh,
or over the last 30 days, rather. Yeah, because January.
Yeah, I get it. We'll talk about Techno King 4, the guy that...
So yeah, that guy, Techno King 4, I mean, I'd say don't send hate to him, but he's a pedophile who posts My Little Pony porn, so...
Jesus. Okay. Sorry, talk about how you got banned from it. Talk about that.
So I was messaging, or not messaging him, I was tweeting at him he replied to some Keemstar tweet. No, he replied to a Shadbase tweet at Keemstar. Yeah, that's how it happened, because... Yeah, and on Twitter now, if you get a certain amount of reports in a certain time frame, you just get suspended, and you won't get unsuspended. And you don't get to talk to a human or anything. Right. It's just bullshit. So, anyways, I got a ton of reports probably from the Shadbase fans, aka the pedophiles.
Yeah.
And then the specific one, I said that he was a freak. He was posting absolutely fucking disgusting My Little Pony things.
Ew.
And he was... I looked through some of his tweets, and he was tweeting at some My Little Pony YouTubers, like some girl. He was tweeting like My Little Pony porn of their character at them. It's so fucking weird.
Ew.
And they didn't reply. They probably blocked him. It's just so fucking weird. People are really disgusting.
He's actually fucked. Oh,
yeah.
Dear. Okay. Don't know where to go from there. Like, how do you go anywhere from that? Jesus. Okay. Fucking hell. So, genuine porn. Like, we're not talking softcore stuff. We're talking genuine...
No. Yeah.
Fuck. Alright. There is...
He draws like, he uses like some, like paint on it or something, and he scribbles over the explicit parts, like the dick.
Oh. Okay.
But you could still tell what was going to be there. Pretty fucking gross.
You don't even, like, porn's allowed on Twitter, but what,
child, or pseudo-child porn.
Pseudo-child, questionable, but you'll probably get banned if they review you. Yeah, okay, I get you. There was a paedophile ring story on Scarce recently, which is completely different. But still, it was this thing where, this guy was talking about if you type in this certain thing, there are these girls standing in front of webcams. I don't know if you want to do the research now because I know you two know nothing about it, and I don't really either, to be honest. But there was a certain search term you could look up, and once you typed it in, you could see all of these girls standing in front of a camera, sort of scantily clothed, and they were like 12 or 13, and they were dancing in front of a camera or something.
I don't even think they were 12. I think they were even younger.
What?
I don't know how old these girls were. But the point is, in the comment sections, there were people sort of, I don't know, I guess letting out their urges or something. I don't know what they were doing, but there was some screwed up comments in there. And I don't know, like, I guess they didn't want to put anything like that in there. He just showed the thumbnails of them wearing, like the thumbnails weren't even baity. They weren't even clickbaity. They were very just, I guess it was like the first preview of just them sitting there in normal clothing. It looks like something you'd avoid clicking on because it just looked like some sort of weird homemade thing. But I guess people are actually looking this stuff up. And I can't say I know too much about it, but what I do know is that it's a genuinely real thing. I had a friend of mine look it up, and he was talking to me earlier about it, and he was like, dude, this is just fucked. Like, the dancing and shit in there, and the comments are all fucked. And
wow.
I remember he was telling me about how one of the top comments in one of the videos was what was it? It was like, clean your room for fuck's sake. I don't know if like that was another one of the pedophiles looking it up, or it was somebody from Scarce, but it was definitely a recent comment. It was, oh dear. I'll leave people to look that up later on, but that's just something I wanted to.
That's really gross.
I wanted somebody to just to kind of keep that up in there, yeah. But
that's fucked.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we at? We're pretty early on, actually. We can still talk about budget stuff here. You wanted to talk about the worst of 2016, Majo.
Yeah.
I give it a
okay.
Fucking Harambe was probably the worst thing.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
Okay, you know what,
I still see people saying Harambe jokes.
Craig, I do want to get you started on this because the fact you haven't said much, but fucking I want to hear your opinion on this because that's fucking Harambe.
This meme is it's horrendous. It's as dead as the fucking gorilla itself, man. It's not even like funny anymore.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
It's so big though. The amount of stories that came out. What was it? Okay, so 28th of May. I know that from Filthy Frank, the fucking gorilla was shot. This was last year, and from there, a bunch of memes came out about it. Probably a month later, it really started kicking off. People were bringing up memes about it. It was relevant for probably like 2 weeks or something. Probably one of the most, the longest.
Yeah, it's not being funny after like a July. Week or two.
Stop being funny.
It's so fucking. Jeez, I remember I don't remember who it was, but it was either it was one of my friends, and they kept saying Harambe jokes in October every time somebody made a
I would kill them.
Joke
I would actually kill them.
Yeah.
So fucking no. He wasn't saying them. He kept replying with the quote Harambe jokes in October.
Okay.
Whenever he saw one
Jesus,
in October.
They're still going. If you go onto Cincinnati Zoo's Twitter, all right, they tweet daily now. Okay, they tweet on like probably a few tweets a day. Okay, and if you go to the replies of it and just wait as soon as a new tweet comes out, like 10 seconds, their mentions will flood with Harambe relevant to whatever tweet came out here. So like if they're talking about, oh, we've just got ourselves a new a lion or something, they'll respond with, oh, Harambe love lions, or Harambe was new briefly before you shot him. And then my favorite one is where they just type in Harambe. No joke there. Just Harambe, because they're too lazy to actually create a funny joke. Like I saw somebody spell Harambe but forgot the E on the end. Like, that's how lazy some of these people are. And sometimes I'll take a screenshot of it and then just post it on Twitter and say "still going." ... Like, I've done that so many times now. It's not even funny. The whole thing. No. And that was the Harambe emoji. It wasn't even an emoji for Harambe. It was a genuine.
It was a fucking gorilla.
It was just a gorilla, a silverback gorilla. They exist. It's not just Harambe with a silverback. There are more gorillas like that. And then there was the Harambe versus Capcom parody game that came out, which made it huge. there were so many fucking things related to Harambe.
Capcom, I never saw that.
You never saw that? It was a genuine full-on fighting game made off of the Mugen engine or whatever, which is a whole fighting game.
Yeah, Mugen. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. It was just a whole thing based off of that. There was a Capcom characters in there, and then there was just Harambe, and there was another, like, the only two characters that were custom was Harambe and a zookeeper. That was it. It was just the two custom characters, and then you played arcade, you played as Harambe versus a zookeeper, and then you started fighting all the Capcom characters, and it was just, well, it's bloody dull. It was very...
Well, wait, do either of you play Overwatch?
No.
No.
Well, in Overwatch, do you know the character Winston, like the big gorilla?
Yeah, I know Winston, yeah.
Well, so every time, or not every time, but very often when you play Overwatch, some retard on your team, if you have a Winston, they'll say, "Oh, Harambe, go blah blah blah," and they just call Winston Harambe now.
Jesus.
Or not just now.
I will never buy that game.
Just for that, I can tell the community's bad enough that I'm never going to invest my money in that. It just...
it's such a broad game. There's so many people that play it.
I've heard that the Winston is actually one of the weaker characters in the game. Like, his weapons are just not great. Is it balanced or... Okay. Alright. Well, I don't know where I heard that from. But, yeah, that's not like... I don't think that's the worst meme in 2016, to be honest with you. It's bad, but it's not as bad as the "We Are Number One" meme or the fucking lazy town.
Oh, that's my favorite.
That was never funny.
I love that.
Funny.
I think it's the funniest.
Are you kidding? No, it's so bad.
It's
so bad.
Like,
it's so bad. I don't really like memes at all because they just get so old and so unfunny so fast.
I wish people
the "We Are Number One" thing, that was literally from like when montage parodies were popular, and now it's popular again. Same thing with B-Movie. It's like 2 years old.
I don't like the B-Movie one. Is
2 years old. I forgot. Craig, it's 2017.
Craig, why do you like the "We Are Number One" thing? I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's just so childish. It's funny. I don't know why I find it funny. I just find it hilarious.
Stupid.
And it gets me views too. So.
Okay, the only one I ever laughed at was the one where it just zooms in on random things, and like you'll see one scene, but instead of seeing like the actual scene, you'll just see one of them pull a stupid face. That's when I can see it's funny. But other than that, I've never found any of them funny. Especially like the one where every time they say one, the B-movie script plays, and it's just 15 hours long. Nobody's ever going to sit through that. Nobody. Like, you could replace it with anything that's just
I bet there's one person who just set that on replay, like in their living room with the TV or something.
No, not even.
And they just occasionally watched part of it.
Not even in the living room. It was just a kid who played it on his laptop, set it on repeat, went to school, probably met up with his friends, maybe did some homework in the library because he doesn't have any friends. Maybe got bullied, maybe got bog washed.
Yeah, definitely got bullied. Definitely got
bullied. Sat in class in the back of the room in the corner with his pencil that just snapped, and he had to ask for a sharpener, and then he went over, but somebody tripped him over, and he cried into the bin for 5 minutes, and the teacher wasn't bothered to help him. And then he started walking out crying with his backpack half open because the zip broke. And then he went down to his locker and started putting his books in it, ready to go home, but then he got tripped over again, and his locker got set on fire, and then the kid got bullied. He went home, and then he just sat down in front of his computer, still watching that "We Are Number One," but every time the one plays, the B-movie script plays, and just cried. That's how I pictured that video ever getting any retention time whatsoever.
That's right.
It's just that much of a loser setting it on repeat. Oh, that was really harsh, wasn't it? Jeez.
No, not harsh enough.
It's just going to be one person sitting in front of the computer going, "That's me. You just described my life story, and I'd never do that." Oh, if that's the case, I actually feel sorry for you. I'd give you a hug if I could.
We'll let you be a guest on here to make it
dude,
up.
I'll get Shadbase to make some drawings of you, dude. You'd love that.
Disgusting. Here, I'm going to look up on Twitter now. Shadman at MajoFPS and retweet what he said to me.
Okay, right. Go follow Majo. His Twitter handle's on the screen.
Yeah, follow MajoFPS alt.
Yeah, MajoFPS alt. It'll be on the screen if I remember. So yeah, we can talk about Leafy now because Leafy is. Okay. So we'll talk about a
retard.
First of all, the dude's been declining.
He's a retard.
The dude's been declining quite heavily recently, obviously. Where is he at now? Is he still losing subs or is he gaining them now?
Yeah, he is. Check his Social Blade out. It's
Social
really
Blade still losing subs. Got it. Okay. So the dude's been losing subs recently, pretty bad. I don't know if it's increased or decreased or he's losing them at a steady rate. I don't know. I haven't checked his Social Blade. But he took a 3-day break, starting December 30th or 31st, somewhere around there. He took a 3-day break, and then I think it was Billy the Fridge kicked him back into action. Is it Billy the Fridge, or am I getting that wrong? I don't know. I got it. Sweet. Okay, so he took a 3-day break, and then at the beginning of the break, PewDiePie tweeted out the reason why YouTubers take a break in January, showing that showing that the ads...
That's the picture the AdSense, right?
Yeah. And the reason why is because companies like to pump a constant ad revenue budget in, except for holidays where they like to up it a bit just to make sure. That's why you see companies like John Lewis don't really have that many ads going on during most of the year. But then it hits December, they have their own little special ad every year with a huge ad budget, production budget. It's a huge ad. Like, everyone sees that ad every year, reminds themselves of who John Lewis are, and, they shop there and whatnot. It's a tradition at this point. And I do want to mention another tradition later on if we get time, because it's really funny. But companies pump a huge ad budget into December, which is why if you make YouTube videos in December, you get more ad revenue, more CPM overall. But to make up for that, in January they knock it down. And they start advertising a lot less in January, which is why ad revenue is down overall than average. It's a huge dip, which is why PewDiePie was teasing Leafy into taking a break in January. But after Billy the Fridge pumped him up, he went right back into it. I guess motivating him or whatever to push past the crappy ad revenue he's inevitably going to get. I still don't know why Leafy did take that 3-day break, because... I guess...
Did you look at his tweets?
I mean, I didn't...
No, you didn't get to see his tweets, right?
No, I didn't see his tweets. I'm blocked by him. What's the reason?
Okay, well, he just said that he just wanted to take a short break because he's been making daily videos for so long. Yeah, probably because they're shit and they're awful.
I guess. Yeah, I must scrape them together in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not 5 minutes, but at least...
He said he spends a long time on them. Yeah, I'm sure, when other people edit them for you.
I mean, I don't... Yeah, okay. I don't get why he stopped, other than, I get he needed a break. That's fair. Initially I was thinking, right, you're still making a ton of money. I guess he's gotten used to it by now. Like, he makes a ton of views still, I think. Like, probably several 100,000 views, which is...
I'm looking, I'm at a Social Blade right now, and his daily average for a day... Well, obviously it's called daily average, but daily average is 942,000.
So he gets 942,000 views over 30 days. That's around like 27 million views, something like that. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, it says 28
million.
Yeah.
So he's still getting a decent amount. 28 million divided that by 1,000, that's around 28 grand. So he's still making probably 6 figures a year. But taking a break in January is probably the best time that anyone can take a break on YouTube. Which I guess makes sense then. That, so many YouTubers would do it, that I don't see that too much as a scummy move. If you do need to take a break, I'd judge him if he took a break over like 2 weeks period or even longer than that, over January. But I can respect him for taking a small break, but I can't respect him for the shit content that he creates. What did he do during the break? Do we know anything specific there? He must have tweeted out.
He bought some acid. He got high off acid, and he went to the fireworks at the Space Needle in Seattle.
Yeah.
And he said he had a bad trip, and before that, he was listening to the Undertale soundtrack. Wow,
it's really good.
Wow.
Look, I fucking love Undertale. All right, like
terrible taste, bad taste, bad RPG.
You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you and your Undertale-hating ass. I want to rip into you for this. It's such
Undertale is bad. Undertale is a bad RPG.
Right. I think it's a good game. I don't like the community around it. I don't think they're good, but
Community's awful.
Community's awful. Fine, I'll agree with you on that. But the game is good. I love the game. The narrative in the game is one of the best narratives I think I've ever seen.
Hey, I've got a question for you. What's Undertale inspired by and / based on?
Earthbound.
Oh, fuck.
Got him. I know that for a fact. I saw a couple game theory episodes on it, because at the time I was sort of like
Oh, those are so fucking bad.
Okay, yes, they...
Wait, didn't you say, just the other day I was talking to you, and you said all the old Nintendo games were bad because they didn't have any fucking, joysticks.
They're shit.
You said they didn't.
I don't like
You're
playing
so
them.
retarded. You like Undertale, but you don't like old Nintendo games like Earthbound.
You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you and your...
That is so stupid. That is so stupid. So you
I do not
you
like
hate
the
old.
gameplay. I do not like the fucking game. That you can play Undertale with a fucking joystick if you had that fucking heart and you moved it around with one. But what I'm trying to clarify here is I like the narrative more in Undertale than anything else, except for that stupid little heart that moves around and dodges fucking seeds or whatever. I prefer the narrative in that. I like how it actually tries to make you like the characters in it. I like the way Toby Fox approaches it. I like his humour.
Many games do that.
I like the really cute dog that fucking irritates me every time I go into the fucking artifact room and I fucking drop the annoying dog and then the annoying dog steals a fucking artifact. I don't even know what it does now because the fucking dog and then the fucking other dogs and then the dogs you kill and it's...
Do you like the quirky humor? Do you like the XD random humor?
I like some of the humor in it. I like the fact that the fucking little dog came out of the little snow puff and I was like, oh, it's a little dog. And then the dog came out and it's a fucking...
What else?
It's a fucking massive dog. And then...
Oh, massive dog.
Yeah.
These massive dog nuts.
These massive dog nuts. I fucking love it. Alright? I love that shit. It's...
Bad game.
It's...
Bad
The
game.
fucking... Okay, right. You can't tell me that you don't like the soundtrack. Like, fucking
You know, it's like the same song at different speeds.
Yes,
7 of the
I get it.
songs.
That's because it's easy to actually produce and create a bunch of. But I like the soundtrack and some of the directions it goes, especially Megalovania, right? The fucking final battle when you play the genocide run
I
and you
think
kill
that
all
theme is awful. I mean, I guess...
Oh, come on.
I mean, I guess some of the songs are fine, but I actually think, just putting bias aside, I think that is a really annoying theme.
I love that fucking
really
theme.
bad.
I love that theme.
No.
I fucking love the music. You know what? Agree to fucking disagree, but I love it. I love it to bits.
Well, here, tell me. So you don't like any old Nintendo games because they have bad graphics and they don't have
I should clarify.
Analog sticks.
I should clarify. If I was playing those games,
or single.
If I was playing those games when they came out, then I could probably appreciate some of them. I could probably actually like some of those games. But now I could not go back and sit there because there is no nostalgia.
What games have you played recently then?
Games that I've played fucking recently. Let me pull up my Steam real quick. You know what? Let's pull up my actual games that I've been playing.
No. Old Nintendo games that you played recently.
Nintendo games I haven't played any Nintendo games recently. I don't enjoy old Nintendo games.
Then what have you played in any time then?
Any time.
What old Nintendo games have you played?
I think Nintendo 64. If we're talking about like those games, I played fucking GoldenEye. I played Mario Kart 64 because we had
GoldenEye aged terribly. Mario Kart 64 is fine.
Legend of Zelda. I think I don't remember which one I played.
Which one?
I don't remember. It was
those are literally most people say Ocarina, or not most people, I guess, but
I don't remember.
Ocarina of Time is said by many people to be like the best game ever made.
I did enjoy that.
What's your problem with that game?
I did enjoy that game, right? But the problem, I couldn't fucking. It was too difficult. I remember.
It's too difficult.
I don't remember what the fucking
Nintendo games are too difficult for you.
What this was. I was probably 6 at the time. All right, don't you fucking judge me. All right, fucking hell.
Oh, you were 6 then, so you don't have any merit then. So you can't say they're bad if you played it when you were 6.
I don't fucking remember. This was Nintendo 64. They had a joystick. I haven't played anything on Atari or anything because we didn't own one.
Oh, I love the Nintendo Atari. I love that console.
Is that even a Nintendo thing? I don't think that is.
No!
No! I was just trying to throw it out there. I don't know any of the older Nintendo consoles than 64.
So don't say you don't like them then. Fuck off.
I don't like them because I can't appreciate them. Because I can't feel nostalgia for something I never played
any.
I can't because they go to be shit.
Many of them are good games. I play.
That's like me watching a silent movie. I've never watched a silent movie. That's like me saying, right, a silent movie is shit, and then you going, oh, well, you can't say that because you've never watched a silent movie. Bullshit.
Yeah, that's a perfectly logical point. If you haven't watched one, you can't say it's shit.
I can say they're shit because I don't appreciate black and white fucking movies with no audio in them that I will never understand. I can say that because that's like
but you haven't watched
that's
one.
Like me saying I've never fully taken the time to appreciate Egyptian hieroglyphics, and then you saying, well, that's not a good valid point for not liking them, and then I can say, well.
But they're That doesn't make sense. Those are two completely different things.
Fuck off.
I always use Egyptian hieroglyphics to communicate with my friends.
But that's just a way of saying that my handwriting's bad. That's like every time I see somebody's bad handwriting, I'm like, look, you're writing ancient hieroglyphics. Look, there's even a guy fighting a cobra.
Got him.
Look, the S is a faux fucking cobra, and that L is just dude beating someone with a stick. But no, I don't like old games. Because I've never.
But you haven't played any. Here, you know what? You're gonna try to play a game.
I'm a fucking game development student. I do 3D modeling, 2D art, and programming on like a daily basis, right? So I've got very high standards for games. So when I go back and play those games, I'm probably not going to be able to appreciate the narrative of saving a princess from a castle or the tile walking element, which is now outdated.
I love playing Mario games for the story.
All the gameplay elements of the fucking, you know, 2D side scrollers, they're not really out of date anymore because Mario's like, they're never going to be like phased out or anything, I doubt. But games like tile movement games, right, where you've got the engines and you move them.
Nobody's talking about that. I'm talking about like
those are going to be
main Nintendo IPs, like old like good games that are critically acclaimed.
Go on and name some.
Like Earthbound, for example.
Yeah, I've never played it.
Oh, but you're a big fan of Undertale, huh, dude?
It's a recent game. Come on. I like the narrative.
Yeah, but it looks like...
I don't like the...
It's supposed to be a retro game, but it actually looks like shit. A lot of retro games actually look good, and they've aged well. Like,
look, for a game
Mother 3 or
that was made
Earthbound.
by one person.
Earthbound looks decent.
Look, it was made by one person. Games like Earthbound were made by multitudes of people.
No, it was made by two.
Was it made by two people? Well, that's better than one. Mm-hmm. You underestimate like how much more two people together can get done than one person could get done. Like, two people could fucking take on...
No. Undertale was made by two people. It was made by Toby Fox and then the other guy.
Right, no, okay. How many people was Earthbound made by? I swear way more.
It was a small team for a while, but then it got...
It was a small team, yeah. But, no. Undertale was made by, like, two people. Mainly by Toby Fox, but then the other person they got assets from. I think he actually got quite a few people, who got him different assets and stuff. But, overall, the programming side, and actually I can't say programming, can I? Because it was made in, Game Maker? There's like no programming involved at all. Even he said that he didn't know how to program shortly after the game was released or something like that. But no, I can appreciate your side of the view, but when it comes down to it, I like it. I like the narrative of it. I like how I can actually, sort of feel some sort of a sympathy and some sort of relation with the characters in it. I like how they do that. The gameplay mechanics, I don't like. And the tile movement and stuff that... Actually, no, it isn't tile movement. It is just top-down movement. But still, except for the gameplay mechanics, I don't like. Tile movement games, they're pretty much phased out now. Like fucking... I think the most recent example of a tile movement game was Pokemon.
It's not tile movement anymore, though.
It's not tile movement anymore. It is top-down. They actually have 3D models in there now instead of sprites, which is...
It just finished Pokemon Sun.
Yeah.
Very good game.
Yeah, I play Pokemon. But I'm not really that much of a fan anymore. Because I don't know 3DS, I guess I just stopped playing it. Fucking Pokemon Go completely ruining it.
It's fucking... people who played Pokemon Go and don't play Pokemon and they say, yeah, I love Pokemon. Fuck off. Fuck you.
Shit. It's fucking awful.
There's this girl in my class now who has a fucking Pokemon wallet, and I'm like, I really want to say, oh, you're a big fan of Pokemon? It's so fucking gay.
It's a joke. Oh my fucking god. Okay. Craig, actually, I don't think I have your opinion. What's your opinion on Undertale? What do you like about Yeah, Undertale. You ever played it? You ever like it? What's your opinion?
I've never played it.
Okay. You know what? I'm not even gonna let our opinions fucking... You know what? You gotta appreciate the thing for yourself. I fucking get it.
I've played part of Undertale. I probably will finish it at one point so I can completely back up my criticisms.
You know what you should do?
But I've played it for a while.
What I want you to do is I want you to reset your game and I want you to just kill everything. I want you to just run through and make sure everything is dead by the end so you can enjoy the best ending.
But that's the thing, that what's it called? The genocide or whatever. Yeah. That seems like such a half-assed thing that was added in like way late into the development because the talking that route, I don't remember what it's called, pacifist, I think, like where you have to talk to them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more like an actual RPG where you have to use different attacks, but the fucking attack, like the actual attack, it's just like a fucking mobile game where you line it up. That's so dumb.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But some of the attacks were actually a lot more unique in the genocide run. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but at the end of the fight, you're sort of stuck in.
I know you get attacks, right?
You can.
I'm talking about the attacks you use.
The attacks you use. I know the attacks you use are basically all the same. They are genuinely just you tap a bar and then your bar moves along until it gets to the center, and if you miss, then you're sort of, you're trying to aim for the center basically. And then you get all sorts of different items which lets you do different stuff, like you can get one where you can have 3 different lines that move and you have to land each one in the center for extra, attacks, and you get one with 4. And the attacks, they don't make sense. Like, you have to get different items to do it. Like, if you have one item equipped, you can get like 3 attacks at once. I don't fucking know or care. But, the attacks that the enemies use are much more important than the attacks that you use, just because they're visually different, and they're, the way that you actually defeat them is different. Like, so you got fucking blue, where you don't move when the blue arrives and hits you, and then you got red, where you have to be moving to get past it, and you got the white, which will always hit you, and you fucking, but the end boss, there is a ton of different stuff that you have to do to fucking beat the cunt, because...
Yeah, I watched my friend fight that.
The first thing he does is just throw his hardest move at you. And if I say his hardest move, I think it was his second hardest. First hardest is when the fuck...
Well, it's just a bullet hell thing.
It's very simple a case of he throws you at something, then you're forced to go through a fucking thing, and then he starts shooting at you. And then you really have to fight that guy yourself, but... The actual end boss is, I wouldn't say it's half-assed. I wouldn't say it's very, half-assed. I would say there's less content in the genocide run at the end.
No, that's not what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the enemies attacking you. I was just talking about your attacks.
Yeah, your attacks.
They seem half-assed, because you just line up a bar like a mobile game. It honestly feels like that was an afterthought, and, I mean, the main thing was talking, which obviously it was.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is narrative. If there was any critique to be made, it would be maybe your attacks could be different. Another thing I don't like in Undertale is the turn-based combat. That I actually despise in any game, period, like Final Fantasy, like the older games of Final Fantasy. I hated them because of the turn-based. There is no pacing in that at all. There is no urgency in the game.
Yeah, there is. It's more strategic.
I don't like that. It's just because it's more strategic. Strategy does not mean sitting there and just letting nothing happen.
Except you don't, because the attacks take like seconds, and then you just have to plan what you want to do next with the other characters.
Yes, if there is a turn-based game where there is the potential of just sitting there and not choosing anything, if there is that ability, that gives you an infinite amount of time to think about what your next move is going to be. Therefore, no urgency, no pacing. You're not really too terrified.
No. I've never seen. Usually, what you're talking about, like a defending turn where you have to think about it. You can just usually you'll still take some damage.
Yeah. But in games like...
Or are you talking about where you can just sit there for however long you want to plan?
Yes, like however long you want to plan.
Well, that's just strategy.
Yeah,
there's action RPGs.
There's no pacing in a game where you can just sit there and do nothing. Action RPGs, I assume, are the ones that are like turn-based, but you have a certain amount of time to make each turn. If you don't, then your turn gets skipped.
No, action RPGs are...
What's that?
Like all the stats you have in RPGs, except you actually go up and like attack them.
Oh yeah, those ones.
Like Chrono Trigger is an action RPG.
I'm just referring to the fact that, like, if you're sitting there and doing nothing, and you can sit there and do nothing whilst you're waiting to make a turn, you are what's the word? There is no pacing in that game, period, right? And that's what makes it a bad game. Like games like I don't know if it's old or recent Pokemon games, but any Pokemon game.
Wait. So you're saying it's just genuinely a bad game?
No, I'm just saying that is a bad mechanic, and that can drag the game down.
No, it's just planning.
It's not
just planning
and
strategy.
It's not even just planning. No. It's the fact that you can sit there. That does not, like, you don't really feel engaged in that. There is no urgency. There is no, like, you can just sit there and think.
Well, when you'd be doing that, you'd probably be at low health or something, and then you get just one shot the next turn.
Yeah, but that doesn't fucking matter. Like, the fact is, there is no urgency. You don't feel like you actually, You don't feel engaged in it. Like, for fuck's sake, you could just sit there.
Well, in Earthbound,
you could just sit there, type in some
other...
stats on a calculator, and then click enter, and then decide your next best move based on some sort of computer thing. Whereas in games where you actually have a timer on how long you have to make a move before the move then gets skipped, something like that, you can then fucking, you have to decide there isn't a sense of urgency in there just from a little timer, like a 30-second timer or something.
I'm just gonna say that criticism doesn't really make much sense, because that's actually like the style. It's not like a bad mechanic. That's what it's supposed to be. It's just supposed to be strategitic planning for most of them.
Strategic planning. It's
like Fire Emblem, for example. You
just sit there and do nothing.
No, yes.
It's a shit game. Final Fantasy.
Except
Pokemon.
nobody does that. That is.
I know nobody
I am
does
cringing.
That.
I am cringing, dude.
I know nobody does that, because it would make it a very dull game if they did. But the fact that there is no urgency in there at all, that's the biggest thing.
Well, it's called turn-based for a reason. You could sit there if you're playing chess with your mate. You can just sit there and they'll get annoyed at you. But it's just that's a really honestly that's kind of a stupid criticism.
It's also why chess timers exist, and like in some tournaments you actually have a in some tournaments you actually have a limit on how long you can.
Yes, you do it. Yeah.
Not all of them. Like
in Pokemon,
I think the most professional though. But in Pokemon, there's also a turn-based in multiplayer. Like, you actually have a timer in which you...
Yes, I know. That's what I was just going to say.
In multiplayer, yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're going against
a
regular enemy.
It doesn't even matter in stuff like single-player.
If you actually... Well, that would be implying that the Pokemon is difficult. Pokemon is not difficult at all. You will never, ever die with a random run-in.
No, I get it. It's not difficult.
So it doesn't really matter.
It just is the fact that you can sit there. There is no urgency in that. And you don't really feel like some sort of like.
Well, it's not. They're not super action heavy games, so it doesn't really matter.
Just because it doesn't matter doesn't mean
what games do you play?
Just because it matters doesn't mean it's a good criticism. I play stuff like Hitman, right, and stuff like stealth games where there is actual pacing and you have to like plan certain moves before you do stuff. There isn't really a whole lot of waiting around once you're inside somewhere because you have to sort of move quickly. But you can take your time before you actually run in, right? But once you're actually engaged in the stuff, engaged in what you're doing, there isn't, you really got to be careful and plan before some guy walks in on you. And there are some good elements in it.
Well, I mean, with that, I mean, you could just sit somewhere. You could sit on top of something like in the, like here. So the Batman Arkham games, wow, those are just terrible games. You want to know why? You can just sit on a gargoyle and you don't have to do anything.
No. That's not what but there is still pacing in that. That's actually like before,
what you just said.
That's before you get, like, by that critique, I could say that any game is shit, right? Just because, like, I could say, well, you don't even have
to. That is what you're saying. You could just
sit in the start menu. You just not play. You could just buy a game and just sit in the start menu. But that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you get engaged in the combat, so long as it's well paced.
Yeah, you like action heavy games. That's what you like.
I like action. I like games where you are you
just don't like RPGs.
It's not action heavy. It's just games which you are constantly doing something, at least something. Even if like it's light elements in the heavy, like Skyrim, I can get behind Skyrim because you could always be doing something. Whereas in games like
but that's not
Pokemon, for example, you're playing your fucking game, and there's no urgency in the combat where there is supposed to be. When you're having combat, there should be some urgency in there, something, that actually engages you, makes you feel engaged in the combat, right?
You are engaged, you're thinking about what move you want to use, how to be efficient.
That's not fucking engaged at all, that's just sitting there and thinking. Like, you're not doing anything, you're just scrolling through menus.
That's your opinion, that honestly...
Okay, fine.
Have you ever played any turn-based RPGs recently?
Yes. I turned on my fucking Pokemon game at one point and played it because like I've got a couple of them for Christmases and whatnot. But I've played some of the Pokemon games. And I thought I was okay with them when I was like I don't know, 10, 11, something like that. Now I just don't like them. Because there's like it's just boring to play them. I like action heavy games like Hitman, Blood Money and stuff. And just to clarify, I don't like Absolution. That was a pretty shit game. The newer one I have not played yet because it's too expensive. But some of the games like Blood Money, those are really good. I fucking love Blood Money. But yeah, they're action heavy games. We can agree to disagree. But I just like games where when you're having combat, you're actually doing something instead of just scrolling through menus, deciding what to do next.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't think you like RPGs, because if you actually did like them, and if that was like a criticism, that wouldn't really make sense at all if you actually enjoyed RPGs. So I just think you don't like RPGs. To disagree.
I'm just saying that there is a way to improve the turn-based mechanic, which is to just add a timer, like not just in multiplayer.
Well,
but in
yeah,
single
I
player.
tried to say this a while ago, but in the Mother games like Earthbound. And then Mother 2, Earthbound is Mother 2, but anyways, you do kind of have that, because when you're waiting for another turn, or when it's your turn, you don't lose all your health right away. It starts draining really fast, so you have to be quick when you use your moves. And stuff.
I see. No,
No,
it's yeah, I guess no, I agree. I can agree on that. I really
Pokemon
like
is supposed
RPG
to be
games all that much, to be honest with you. I guess like games like Skyrim, they're turn-based RPGs, right?
That's an action
turn-based.
RPG.
Fucking turn-based. I'm stupid. But they're RPGs. That's what I meant. But no, I can like them, because when you get into the combat, you're actually doing stuff, as opposed to just turn-based, where you can just sit there and do fuck all and decide your turn. There is some strategy in there, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, so you don't like JRPGs, like the Japanese RPGs, which are like usually turn-based ones. Yeah, you like Western RPGs that are like really action-heavy, like Skyrim.
I probably don't like it. Like, Japan is strange.
Yeah, fuck Japs. Fuck Japs.
It's not. It's not like I'm just saying fuck them. You know, it's not. It's just I think they need to get with like what normal people. No, they need to just fucking.
What?
I'm joking. Recently though, fucking
Narrating Fox.
I saw Phil Fish. The This Is Phil Fish video recently. You guys have seen that, I hope. But there was a actual important thing in there where Phil Fish was talking about how Japanese people need to get with the times, and when he was asked what he thought of Japanese games, he said they suck, and that's just because Japan was a culture built off of isolation. They're on an island, right? And before fucking like boats and planes and shit were invented, they were alone on that island. So they started developing their own culture, right? When they started, creating architecture and stuff, which is why they're so different to the rest of the world. And then there's the laws that they have. There's the fact that the age of consent over there isn't one. You can have sex any time there if you wanted to. That's like genuinely how bad it is. And then they've got a paedophile problem in the law, and they're like, "Oh, why do we have a paedophile problem?" Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because your fucking age of consent does not exist, except in some portions, in some regions of Japan. No, the majority of the place there is no age of consent. In some regions there is.
Really? I thought it was 13
or
something.
It is in some regions.
Yeah, because I saw
in
that
some regions it is 13.
Meme on the...
In some regions there isn't an age of consent. I don't know, like, if there's more of Japan is 13 and more of Japan is none, but I know those two are a thing. And hopefully they start introducing a new age of consent that actually counts, like 16, which I can appreciate, which is what we have in the UK. I think you two have 18, right? 18 over there, or is it 16?
Yeah, it's 18.
But in some states it's 16, so, there's not too much of a criticism there.
I think it's like half
and half, yeah. Well, doesn't matter. So what are we at? Nearly 52 minutes. That's pretty banging. I don't know if we want to fit anything else. Maybe make this an hour. But I think we've covered basically everything. I don't know if you two had anything you wanted to mention. Anything?
Follow MajoFPS alt on Twitter. He's the greatest Twitter user of all time.
There was actually there was one thing I wanted to discuss really quick, and it was the almost like the downfall of BAITED. Like, have you seen it in Social Blade recently?
Oh yeah, they lost like 10,000 subs or something, right?
Yeah, I'm going to here. I'm on it right now. It's so when they uploaded on the 6th at midnight, they lost 2,400 subs.
Wow. Okay, that's fucking mad.
And since December 29th, or December 27th, they've been all negative.
Can you put the recent views on the 2 newest episodes and compare them to the other episodes? Because I get it's going to probably be naturally lower, maybe by 10,000, 20,000, based on the fact that they were more recent and they haven't accumulated views. But is there a huge contrast between the 2 recent ones and any of the olders?
I'm gonna check.
Like, what I'm picturing is that people.
Well, so it was always growing, or it was growing until
It was growing until the fucking breakup.
October. The views were. Oh wait, no. Wait a minute. Oh, this is the views.
No, we're looking at the more recent views. Like, has it had a sudden drop in views ever since the fucking sub loss? Like,
No, it had a sudden drop from October to November. It was dropping, but I don't think they really uploaded any. I think they might have uploaded one. Yeah, it looks like
so that was a huge bit of inactivity. What about now?
Their monthly subs were going just with their views, but now they're so the monthly views from November to December went up and the subs went down. Okay. But yeah, they're only losing subs. Yeah, they lost 10,000 subs on Thursday.
My God. Yeah. So it is actually doing a lot worse without Colossal and Tommy as they were predicting, which is to be expected. I'm pretty mad. I don't think they should be surprised at that. I mean, I don't think we should be. We should have expected that. There's good chemistry with those guys. What I'm thinking recently is that the views are probably going to be a lot lower. Just for the fact that there's no more Colossal and no more Tommies, so people aren't going to click on them. Maybe not even bother to unsubscribe because that's too much effort for their tiny little brains. I'll probably unsubscribe at some point, but Jesus, that was fucking awful. The podcast is just.
Hold on, before you say anything, I'm looking at the most popular videos on the channel, and the newest one the 14th episode is in the middle there, but the newest one is obviously the lowest because it just came out, but it's not even close to the second to last one. It's still a couple 100,000 views away.
Wait, so how many views have the two new recent ones got? Because we can imagine how many they get.
So the newest one has 293,000, but I'm pretty sure everybody clicked on it because they wanted to see how it was. And then the newest one right now has exactly 100.
Okay, so a lot lower. Jeez, that's pretty much what you'd expect from the new Top Gear or something. I don't know if you ever heard the drama of that because it's a UK thing. But the newest Top Gear figures were five were fucking massive, right? And then they just started dipping because people wanted to tune in and see what the newest one was. And then this Chris Evans guy, this cocky twat, was like, look at the figures are actually a lot higher than typical Top Gear figures. So, people clearly love it. And then the next one was actually 10 times lower than the average before those two, the old cast got replaced. So, it's pretty fucking mad. And then the Grand Tour, which is Jeremy Clarkson's new show with Richard Hammond James May, got fucking huge amounts of figures. They were breaking records left and right with their views. It was actually it was mad. Mm-hmm. But no, that's what I compare this BAITED.
Didn't the guy who got off of it though didn't he get kicked off? Because he did something controversial or something?
The first guy, Jeremy Clarkson, got kicked off because he punched a producer in the face. It's absolutely legit. Apparently, he's just being a cunt or something. But Jeremy Clarkson's your racist old relative that you like, because he's just cool. And then the two cast, Richie Ham and James May, they're like fucking brothers, alright? They love each other. So when one goes, the other two go. So if only BAITED was like that, we'd just have no more BAITED and we'd be much happier. Oh, and the reason why we haven't, I should clarify near the end here, the reason why we didn't mention Catch 33 at all during the podcast, I think we'd mentioned it briefly, but the reason why we haven't brought it up is because there's no new episodes that have come out for it. The thing got
information. Really,
the channel got 40,000 subs before a fucking episode came out. We're putting way more effort into ours, aren't we? Jesus. Impressive. All right. Did anyone else want to talk about anything else about BAITED or mention anything else before we end here? Because I don't think there's anything else we have to say.
No, I think we're good.
I know everything we want to say. Sweet. Okay, so thank you so much. If you want to sit through promotions, here's where we're going to do them.
Follow MajoFPS Alt, the greatest Twitter user of all time.
Subscribe to SiE Craig on YouTube.
Leave me alone.
Oh yeah, and follow Staged Podcast on Twitter.
Staged Podcast. 18 followers, not bad for a podcast with probably no fucking followers whatsoever. But no, seriously, thank you for watching all the way through. Surprisingly, people are actually sitting here and listening to us argue. Seriously, thank you guys so much. The fact that we got 1,000 fucking views on the first one was madness, and honestly, I just want to say thank you to anyone who's watching now for the continued amount of support that we'll probably be getting in the future. We'll be doing these probably weekly. I think we'll actually sustain a Saturday thing now. The first time was because we were on holiday and Wednesday was just, near. So it was like, let's do it on Wednesday. And now that we've got, Saturdays where we know we're all going to be free, we can do it on Saturdays now, which is great. So, I think that's everything I had to say. Anything else before we sign off?
I'm good.
No, yeah,
okay.
We're good.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the 3rd episode of Staged, maybe with a guest. We'll see.
Yep.
Undertale shit.
Fuck off.